everybody, welcome back. My name is Scott and this is another My Bourbon Journey review. So if you're new to this channel and you're looking for reviews of different whiskeys such as bourbons, ryes, American style whiskeys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification. That's going to alert you to when I'm doing new uploads, live streams, things along those lines. So today, in full disclosure, these were sent to me for me to do a review of. So today I'm doing a review of Journeyman Distillery. They're out of Three Oaks, Michigan. So this is going to be three different products within their line of spirits. So starting from left to right, we're going to start with the Featherbone Bourbon. Second will be the SilverCross whiskey. And third will be the Last Feather Rye. So a little bit of information on each one of these first. So starting again from left to right, the Featherbone Bourbon. This is going to be a mash bill of 70% corn, 25% wheat, and 5% rye. This is 90 proof or 45% ABV. Second is going to be the SilverCross 4-grain whiskey. This is going to be made up of 4 equal parts, 25% rye, corn, wheat, and malted barley. This also is 90 proof or 45% ABV. And third is going to be the Last Feather Rye. This is a mash bill of 60% rye and 40% wheat. So a real interesting kind of mash bill on that. Also bottled at 90 proof or 45% ABV. A little bit of additional information, MSRP on all of these are right in that $40 to $50 range, depending on where you are, in the country. They should be right in that range. In terms of what I was able to find, that was about the kind of the medium price or the range, $40 to $50. So all non-age stated, so we don't know, or really none of them are being classified as a particular age, for either one of the lines. So why don't we go ahead and we'll kind of get into the review. So I'm going to start again left to right with the Featherbone Bourbon. And so what I'd like to also do with my reviews is we'll get into the appearance. We'll go through the nose, the taste, palate, and then really, kind of the finish part of it. And if there's any other general information, we can add that. So as you can see, this is a really nice kind of deep amber type of color. So it's lending you to believe that this either has some age and or in combination of the barrel having like a heavier char, maybe a 3 or 4 char. So again, don't know the age on this. And it's appearance wise, it looks really nice. So let's give this a nose. So right away, you're getting a little bit of that kind of corn or grain presence. There's a little bit of like a vanilla caramel kind of note to it. You're picking up a little bit of the wheat that's there. A little higher in the mash bill, a little higher grain regarding the wheat. So you're picking up a little bit more of that soft, type of, the wheat note that's there. You get this doughiness, this soft floral type of note is usually what I pick up with a wheated bourbon. So even though this has rye in it, I'm not picking up a lot of the rye spice, and that's only 5%. So that's going to be fairly muted on this. So, but yeah, really nice kind of soft floral, a little of that vanilla's there. Kind of even a creme brulee type of note to it. I think that's kind of the heavy vanilla kind of coming out in it. Let's give this a try. Cheers. So with this being the first sip, haven't had anything yet today, so this is the first sip. So before I do any assessment, I'd like to get the palate coated a little bit, take another sip, and then really kind of, dive into it at that point. So similar to the nose. You're getting a little bit of that corn or that grain presence. The vanilla, the caramel characters are there. You pick up a little bit of that kind of wheat influence, so it's soft and a little bit kind of floral. Some oak is there. Very, very typical of what you would get with like just a standard wheated bourbon type of profile. So that's kind of what I'm picking up with that. Yeah, that kind of caramel, a little bit of a, well, maybe a little bit of a dark fruit type of note to it, but that's very faint. A little more kind of corn presence, oak is there. Sweeter. Very straightforward, really good, kind of solid bourbon. So, all right, take a quick sip here. All right, so second is going to be, second will be the SilverCross 4-grain whiskey. Again, this is going to be 4 equal parts, 25% corn, wheat, rye, malted barley. Also 90 proof as well. So as you can see, again, similar to the bourbon, a really nice kind of dark, kind of amber type of color to it. So, you know, seems very similar in terms of the approximate age and or the char of the barrel. So all right, so for me right away, I get hit with this kind of spearmint note. That malted barley is definitely there, so that I pick up what I would get in like an American single malt, so that barley is fairly present. And those are two grains that are essentially, you know, much stronger. So the corn and the wheat that are in here are probably going to take a bit of a second or a back seat to these two, just because the barley and the rye become a little bit more of a dominant type of grain. A little bit of vanilla there, but definitely that spearmint and the malted barley are really wanting to kind of come through on the nose. So let's give this a try. Cheers. So for me right away, you get hit just like I did with the nose. That spearmint and that barley flavor is really wanting to kind of come through. Little bit of corn presence there. Maybe there's a little bit of the spice or this allspice type of flavor from the rye, but for the most part, I'm getting really a major kind of barley influence, so like a single malt, something like that. Still a little bit sweet, so I'm sure the corn is helping to balance that out a little bit, but the rye, the wheat for me is maybe helping to balance some of the other stuff out, but I'm not picking it up as a single grain in there. Yeah, for me, heavy influence on the barley part of it. I'm picking that up quite a bit as the main or predominant grain in there, even though there are 4 equal parts, 25% of each grain. But for me, the rye and the malted barley are really wanting to kind of come through and take that over. You know, still a decently, balanced, whiskey. However, for me, again, it's a little more grain forward in terms of the rye and the malted barley, but still real interesting. I always appreciate when a company tries different things. So, I mean, the mash bill of 4 equal parts is pretty neat in itself. All right, so let's move on to the Last Feather Rye. So again, this is also going to be 90 proof or 45% ABV. So as you can see, this is a little bit lighter, so kind of a light bronze or kind of a, more of a honey type of color to it. So All right, so right away with this, so this is an interesting mash bill. So I don't know if I've come across one that's been 60-40. So again, 60% rye, 40% wheat. I'm not getting a huge amount of kind of spearmint on this, and I'm guessing that's probably the wheat kind of toning that down a little bit. So let's give this a try. So cheers. Interesting. So I get this nice kind of hit of butterscotch. Coats the mouth really well. It's very like kind of like velvety, like smooth. I know that's a term that a lot of people don't like to use, but it's kind of thick feeling. So it's got some, a little bit of substance to it. Really no heat, but that soft wheat I think is really helping to balance or tone down the rye, but influenced by that soft wheat flavor. So yeah, really interesting blend of these two. I really like this. Yeah, really coats the mouth really well. Good kind of spice to it, yet still soft. And you're definitely getting that wheat influence for sure. So yeah, really interesting type of rye. Finish wise, I would say with probably all of them are on that medium side. So this probably being the rye, maybe being a little bit longer on the kind of the back of the palate, like on the tongue. I get this kind of like tingly spearmint type of feel to it. So if you breathe in kind of, whenever you have spearmint, you breathe in, it feels kind of cool. I'm getting that kind of feeling in my mouth a little bit. So really interesting, but kind of a well-balanced rye whiskey, something that's kind of neat and interesting and very, very well balanced. I think they've done a good job with all of them. They're all unique in their own way. So, again, check them out, Journeyman Distillery. I'll have links in the description below for the distillery. So in the event you want to do some more research or look at where they distribute their products, you can find it there. So also the video, leave me thumbs up, leave some comments. I'm always interested to know whether you've tried this or just general comments. Again, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you want to contribute to the channel at all, I'll have links in the description below as well for my PayPal. And like I always say, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.